So most people come to me and say, we want career. And I'm thinking, okay, hang on. Before we go career, what kind of life do you want? Career only facilitates the kind of life you want. So for me, I can't, if for example, my life, I want a 5-bedroom, I want this, I want that, career might not serve me. I might need start out with a career, do some side hustle, so some business, do some invest. There's a mixture to serve my economic well-being, okay? So we look at all those elements, especially for our young kids. Our young kids are not young anymore. This society I don't treat them as young. I just look at them as human beings who have a brain, and we need to work with that brain. They might like a bit of direction, but if you elicit these things out of them, they will shock you. Okay, so the process starts like this. So we have a vision, we have a dream session, and we can identify key elements. So for example, for him, right now, the big thing for Joel right now is school. So we look at that. How does that look like? What would you want to get from this experience at the end of it? We start the end in mind. So when it's all done, what would you like to see? And then he starts telling me, when it's all done, I want grade. And sometimes they give you a grade, you're thinking, hang on a minute, the dreams are free. You can be higher. And that's why it's so important to have a coach. They can extend your horizon. Yeah? So some things Joel has told me, I said, no, you can do better. And he saw we edit that. So the vision becomes enlarged beyond what he envisioned to start with. And that's why it's so important to interact with them. So for example, Vision 2024, Joel. What do you have? I'm going to give you an insight. So usually visions and dreams, I tend to tell people to keep some things for yourself. Yeah? The Bible says, my people perish. Because of what? Lack of knowledge or lack of vision? Yeah? So you need to know you will perish if you don't have a vision. If you don't have knowledge, you will perish. And then the Bible also says that write down your vision so that those that see it may do what? Run with it. Yeah? So those two things are very crucial. So you got to have vision, but you got to write it down. I take a big step forward and say, have a vision board. We're still talking vision now. We haven't gone down to goals. Have a vision board. Do you know what a vision board is? You do. What is a vision board? What is on it? We can have interaction. Pictures. Pictures. What else is on it? Picture of the future. So I'll give you an example. I have a vision board. Now, it took me years to get a vision board. Did I know about it? I knew about it, but I never got it to go around to do it. One day, I went on Amazon. Can we be practical right now? Amazon. Usually, if I have a kid or anybody, or usually not kids, I'm usually working with big people. When I tell them about vision board, they look at me, I'll do it. I said, no, let's do it now. So we go on Amazon, we order one. We order the pins, we order the paper to put on it. It's changed my life. I kid you not. I look at my vision board and it's like, tick, tick, tick. Once you align your vision, you know what you want. Please, I beg you. If I had more than 30 minutes, we'd be having a workshop. We'd be like, okay, where are you, Steve? You ordered yours? Yes. How big is it? Then you ask sizes. Do you see? And then we get pins. We got all this stuff. So we do this live session. We order this stuff. Otherwise, left alone, the world is going to come at you. You won't do it. Now, the vision board has been, I can't even stress. Whoever came up with that stuff, I don't even know. It's literally life-changing. We go far with that vision board now because we've seen results. Yeah? It's got a house, it's got stuff, renovation plans, this plan, this. And it's free, you dream free, so you can dream big as you want. Yeah? You can make it creative. We got color stuff, arrows coming to this and that. Now, every morning I wake up, I look at it. Do I have the money? No. But I look at it. It just has a way of aligning my psychology. Just has a way of, if you have a little line saying pray, you start praying because you're on the vision board. Then you see the names on there. Oh, I need to pray. Okay, that. It's as if it's a board that gives you plan and direction. It's just nice to have. Now, if you want to know how to do this properly, just contact me. Yeah? So, we start with vision. So, Joe, tell us about your vision. This is stuff we do. We could do this in the car. We could do this, mostly we do in a cafe. I like to do things over food. Just buy some food and just eat and talk about vision. It's a nice thing. I recommend if you have children, if you have kids, however young, you can start young. Get your kids, not in a home, take them somewhere away, somewhere fun, and just get them talking. What would you like? What's your like? What do you see? You'll be shocked. If I dare ask, do you all know what your kids like? Those who have kids. Do you know what their vision is? Have you had a chance to speak to them about vision? Yeah? So I'll suggest you do. Because otherwise, I'm talking, usually I'm not just my kids, I have other people's kids I'm talking to about vision, and we talk about vision. So let's talk about vision. So Joel, you're studying, right? What's your vision for qualification vision? We have all sorts of vision. We categorize our visions. Yes. Oh, Joel, how old are you?
I am 15. I'm turning 16 soon.
Okay. By the way, feel free to ask questions. Joe is 15. So what's your view? When did we start this, by the way? Some years back, right?
Yeah, some years about that. Last year.
So when we started with the kids, when I started with the kids, it was more of preparing them for their physiological changes. I thought that was a big thing. Yeah? So sometimes it's the vision about their change. So vision is what's coming ahead. So he was 10. Now, I couldn't... Actually, I did ask you about what house you want to live in at 10, but however, I was more concerned about their changes. They were becoming teenagers. So when I was turned teenage, no one spoke to me about voice change. You know, hair started growing, and I needed to manage that process. Some people get affected by these changes, so I wanted to make sure these kids are not affected. And also there's dynamic in the school that I know about that was coming their way, and I needed to prepare them. I studied here pretty much most of my life. So I know the dynamic in school. I know the playground. I remember vividly the struggles in the playground. So I needed to teach them what's coming, and so they can manage that process, not hurt. Yeah? So things, we talked about identity a lot. We talked about playground stuff a lot before it came. We talked about how your body's going to change, how your voice is going to change. For faith, we talked about how her body is going to change and your psychological effect that brings to the kid. Okay, but right now, we've gone through that process. Now we're talking, let's talk about qualifications, because what we do with visions, you have visions. The next thing is you plan your visions, categorize them. So I could have a vision for home, have a vision for career vision. I could have social vision. Who do I want to interact with? Who are my key people? How does the future look like with them? The goals, how am I going to facilitate those relationships? Relationship visions. 15, young. When are you going to get married? That's a vision. Who to? Where? How? So he needs to start thinking. Yeah? And he needs to know and be mindful of these things. It needs to be in your mind. So we talk, there's a catalog of things I'm going to go through that we talk about. And then maybe you could help us add some more. I don't know. But let's talk about qualifications and grades. That's a vision you have. So what are the categories you have under that?
So like I'm 15, as I said. I'm doing GCSEs in like 2 months. So I have qualification and grade visions for school, like as of right now, sixth form, uni, and my uni's masters when I'm like quite older. Because like having a vision, like long term, would actually help you like map where you want to be in the future. So I have my visions for university as well. So as of right now for school,
Okay, hang on a minute. So you're in school.
yeah,
So you're talking vision, so you have long time.
long term, yeah.
So you now not only thought about your school, you've thought about what? What's coming next?
University, sixth form, everything.
Sixth form, university.
Yeah.
So university, what else have you thought about? How far have you gone with your vision?
I went pretty far,
How far?
like
We want to be practical. These guys want to benefit from it.
university masters, like,
So you're talking masters already?
yeah.
Okay. Do you see how important this is? So this kid is now thinking masters. I just want to pause you here because when we talk about vision, we go straight ahead. Now, the reason I want him to think so far, because that affects how he acts now. Did you see the thing? So I say to them, if you only think about school right now and you don't think about the end, your application now is going to be laissez-faire because you don't know what's coming. So then he needs to ask me, we're going to talk about grades, yeah? So now he needs to ask me, what grades? So dive deep now. So you've categories, so school, that's where he is. Next, sixth form, A-levels. Then we talk university. Now, in most cases, it's stopped at university and says degree. I say to him, no. There's deeper. There's masters. I said, masters? What's that? Yeah, there is masters. Well, your forefathers have masters, so you need to do better. Yeah? There is much better than masters, and we were talking PhD. Now, oh, PhD? What's that? What does that stand for? Do you know what PhD stands for? I've heard that term for so long. The kid is asking me what it stands for. I said, a PhD is just become a doctorate. I said, Google it. It shocked me. Philosophy of doctorate. I've had it for long. Needless to say, I work in a hospital. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so there is much more. So let the kids be exposed to a lot more. Let them know the whole spectrum. So they prepare. Now, knowing that, what are the grades you've set first? This is vision, remember? So don't judge him. That's the thing about vision, because people can judge you. So please don't judge him. I usually say to them, that's your vision. Keep it secret and just keep it to you. Because my vision could shock you, or your vision could shock me. You could shock me. The brother, these kids come up with figures, and you're like, huh? You need to go secretly and refine your own, because it's just giving you a figure like, oh my God. So they can shock you. Anyway, go on. So what do we have?
So like first, for my GCSE, English, I would want 8. For maths, I would like a 9. For science, I would be like pleased with a 8. Geography 9, which I'm on already. History 9, and RE and Spanish both 9. Because I have good grades like as of right now. So hopefully like in the future I'll push on and get better. Yeah.
Okay. Now the confusion here is with vision is people tend to put what they can attain. So for example, if I'm on a 6, now the grading's changed, by the way. If you studied here secondary, the grading's changed. Please explain, because I'm not caught up.
So like a 9 to 7, a 9 is an A star, a 8 and 7 I'm pretty sure is an A, and then like the rest 6 is like a B, and then 5, yeah. So.
I'm used to A star, A, B, C, you know. I used to tell them you need to get A star. They said, then what's that, a 9 or? I'm like, Things changed. And so parents, if you're here, please keep up with these things because things changed. And so they're talking 9s, they're talking things like that. So I say to them, what's the highest? 10. Is there 10? 9. Look, I'm always looking ahead. What's the best? So I was like, what is there? 10 African fathers. But anyway, so I'm giving you a picture now. Joel, in this process with him, set himself a 9. Now, please bear in mind, this is dreaming. This is vision. He might not be on a 9 right now. He might not be on certain things. But the vision is 9. Okay, do you see? Yes, sir.
I go to Arkle Saints, which is in South London. It's not a private school; it's public. Yeah.
That's so important. Yes. Yeah. Yes. The youth are on fire. Yes, sir. Yep. You're already confined to a grade C, and your dream is grade A star or 9. How do you do it?
So obviously, you got to work harder. Like that's like the main thing for me, because for me as well, I'm put at a grade 5 for like my target grade, and obviously I go beyond that. So working hard and yeah, trying your best, and obviously being with God, knowing that He's our God, and yeah, He does miracles. We can obviously go beyond our target grades and achieve the A stars that we want.
Okay, see, that's the kid. What about the father? What do we do? Now, thankfully, I knew about that because when I was studying in secondary school, we had grade zones. Now, and then I looked at my kids' grades, and they were confined, like you said, and I thought, hang on, this can't be. So I remember I had a session with the kids, and I told them about this grading. Now, please understand, some of your kids are now probably done GCSEs already. I don't know where they're at. It's a conversation you must have. You must know the system. Your kid could be in a, I think they, now it's what, 8, 9? I get confused with that 8s and stuff. But let's assume they could be confined to a C, and that's all they can get. The system is designed like that because no one stays in class here. It's not like a back home. You could stay and repeat a class. Here, they have to go. Now, you need to know the brackets, for the confinement bracket, as a parent, and start working with your kid. I had this conversation ages ago with my kid and say to them, when did they do stats? Stats? And then so with those exams, they get bracketed or graded. And so the grade they get is where they go for the rest of their lives. And psychology, they can be confining with the kid and conforming them to that grade. Yeah? So it's a conversation a dad, mom, parent should have way earlier on if you're lucky. Get them out of those brackets. Now, he just said he's in a, what, 5? It confuses me. But so you're in 5. I always say to them, so when is your next exam? We need to show them we are higher. And so we get the kids out of those brackets into the next bracket, if they're lucky. My kid now is going into GCSEs. So we at a certain level now of delivery, we need to be delivering key, concrete stuff right now to fulfill this dream, vision that he has. And also the vision helps a kid apply themselves a certain way. So if he's put 9, guess what 9s do? They revise, they ask questions. And so because of his vision, it affects him. His alignment becomes different. There's a question asked about public school versus grammar schools versus private school. Okay, I'm in Korea now. I'm sure most of you are. I have kids in my team who went to private school, and I can see the application. If you ask me now, is it different? Do they go far? Do they not? Now, some do, with connections, I think. In the remits of where I am right now, and I'm not saying I'm at the top, I'm not. I just have a team. Pretty much half of my team is private school. But I lead them. I went to private I went to a state school. So it really depends on the kid. Yeah? I have private school kids that I'm leading. But I went to a state school. In a ghetto school, by the way. In my school, I'll be studying and kids will be throwing things at teachers. Do you see? And sometimes I see the application of these private school kids, and I'm telling them, that quality standard will not work. Let's up it. I'm from a... So, within reason, I guess. Okay, so what do we have then? So you got your vision. That's your current state right now. What's your to-be state? Where are we looking? Talk to us about your sixth form. What have you envisioned?
So after GCSEs, obviously, I want to go and do sixth form. I want to study maths, economics, and geography. So in order to do that, I obviously need to try hard in GCSEs. I need to revise a lot, work hard, so I can get the grades needed to do my sixth form qualifications. And hopefully, when the time comes, I do my A-levels. For maths, I would be pleased to get a A, and economics A, geography A, which is only 3, but it still means a lot because after sixth form, I'm gonna have to use them to apply for my university and my degree in finance. So yeah, I think for sixth form is gonna be way more important, in terms of achieving my goals and my visions in the future.
Moving on with that. So sixth form, how does you've looked into, we've had this vision thing. We went straight to university. What do you see in university? What do you have done on university?
So in university, I want to take a finance degree, and then I want to get a first-class degree in finance, so that after that I can do a master's in university, which hopefully I can get a distinction, which I believe I can, obviously. So
okay.
Yeah.
Vision. Yes, sir. Okay, that's so important.
But what does your day look like on a day-to-day basis?
Okay, can I just, before you answer that question, so we're talking vision right now. Now, you're moving us to, let's go to goals. Now, usually, like I said, people talk, yes, sir. Why finance?
Because recently I've been looking online on what I should do in my future visions. So I've been looking at different sectors let's say business, nursing, for example, and I saw finance and I really liked it. So I feel like in the future I'll be very good at it, and yeah, something I really intrigued in doing.
Yeah, honestly speaking, finance for him came about when we had a chat about how much do you need. We're talking one element of his vision. Remember I said the first thing I usually do is home. Yeah? I didn't want him to talk about his home vision because it's different, it's kind of personal to him. So we went to school because there's so many kids here. So let's just bring this home a little bit. So he started with home. He has a specification of home he wants. And then we worked out the money. Because of time, I'm going to go into granular. So we worked out how much money it would take to facilitate. Okay, I've mentioned the 4 kids, I'm sorry. So we worked it out. What home do you want? 5-bedroom, but how do you want it? Terrace? Detached? Detached. Mansion. Okay. Do you know how much that cost? Yeah? We go down that level. So we're going into down the level. So then millions, I'm not going to mention figures, but let's assume you mortgaged it. How much? Thousands. We're not going to mention that figure. But what I want to show the kids now, when we come down to reality, this is the money we want. So you end up We filter it down to the month. How much does that look like monthly? Then we're now looking, okay, Dad, how much does your facilitation monthly look like with 3 kids? Then we ask ourselves, are we living the best life? Do you see? This is a whole day event. And then we say, okay, what's our dream? We want to go holiday. We want to go this. How much does that holiday for 5 or however many look like? How many do you want to do a year? 3 every quarter we want to be going. Yeah, this is vision because they're free. You can dream. Now, it goes down now. Monthly, I'm going to throw a figure out there. I hate to throw figures when people judge with figures. But let's throw a figure down. Let's say
Roger,
monthly.
please feel free. We want to
Yeah?
learn. So
Okay, so right now you could be earning and say, okay, 5 grand. Your facilitation is, and that's okay. The kid could throw out a vision that needs 20 grand a month. I don't know if you're comfortable with such. We really talk big figures with my kids. 20 grand a month. Yeah? And so, because his lifestyle, that's what we're not going to edit it. Now, miracles happen as well. We have God believing people. So then, that now starts thinking, before I told you about career, I want to know your life. Because if he's deciding that life and he's telling me he's going to be a nurse, I'm sorry. We're going to change that format. You see how now it's different. So, his vision leads him to finance. Initially, he wanted to be something else. But when we went online, remember, we are very practical. We were looking, how much does that earn? Okay, would I give you that lifestyle? No. What's the next thing? What's the next thing? I dare say I changed career because of that. Was I earning bad? No, I wasn't. It wasn't that bad. However, my vision was much higher than that. Now, a kid is telling you he wants a 4 or 5 bedroom mansion, and you live in I just had to be exemplary. I just had to be. I mean, I'm talking to so many people about this, and my life coach, you're telling them this, you're refining their visions. And then they look at you. One kid, actually, in my workplace, one guy said to me, Roger, you're telling us about this tech and all this stuff, and how comes you're not moving? The next day, I was on the course. Do you see? So this stuff is real. This is real life. Real life. So the next day I said, no, okay. I had to align and move. So now I'm in a tech industry, I'm tech career. And it's a lot more lucrative and a big trajectory than where I was. Needed to say, I still do the same job still. But at least I have something. Yeah? So that answers your question, Steve. Why finance? We just looked. And he had to change career. Now the career makes sense. Okay, fine, this might get me to this trajectory. This might give me that. If I'm going to need that much money a month, seriously, I need to do something that gives me that money. It just doesn't make sense, doesn't compute. If you're telling me you want a mansion, and then your career, does that make sense? Okay. So you see, and also I said to him, your vision only ends at degree level. There is such a thing as masters. When I'm hiring, I sometimes look at those people with masters. Isn't it true, Jonah? I'm sure you're hiring as well.
spot on.
You see, I'm sure you guys are doing the same things. The thing about this, we don't tell our kids this. So I got Joel. I was hiring a team. I work for Hitachi now as well. So they tell me, oh, you need to get your own team. So I was hiring. So I got all these CVs. Actually, this was Joshua to start with. I think we did this exercise with you. We did. Please, this is just tips I'm giving you now. My half an hour, I think, is past. Any questions, please feel free. tips I'm giving you. When I do my work, I'm hiring a team. I get my kids, get the CVs. Is Joshua started this exercise with. Say, Joshua, I'm going to hire a team. Here are the people, the candidates. Have a read and tell me, who would you hire? So that exercise takes a bit of time. So Joshua go through CVs and scrutinize this one. Okay, I like the profile here. Oh, then I ask, who are you hiring? So, oh, Daddy, I think you should take this one. I'm thinking, okay, why? Then he gives you, oh, this, I think he's got this, he's got this, he's got this. So, okay. So what does give the kid is he sees the other end. Because in most cases, the kids are asking for jobs now. So they see the criteria they need in a marketplace. So after that exercise was done, do you know what Josh told me? Dad, I think I need to do my CV. So the exercise ended up touching up Joshua's CV. Because he looked and said, you know what? If this is the competition, I better start working on my CV. Yes, sir.
But he hasn't answered Jonah's question about what he does on a daily basis.
Oh, yes, daily basis. Let's talk about goals. Yes.
Because
Thank you so much for putting me into line. Yes, goals.
on a daily basis, I'd say on the weekdays I have school, obviously, and I finish at 3:30. After 3:30, I have intervention for like an hour. So I come home at like 5:30, let's say, and I go home. I do my like things like shower, everything. I can like revise for like about 1 to 2 hours. Also, like on subjects I really need to like focus on, not just every subject. So on the weekends, I'd probably like study for like, let's say 4 to like 5 hours on like different subjects that I obviously like need to work on, and that routine I'm doing is gonna like carry on for like until my actual GCSEs. So when I get to the stage where I'm sitting my exams, I can be like, oh, I know what to do, everything like that. So it will just be good in preparation for me to just study, work hard beforehand, like before the GCSEs, of course. So yeah.
So you see the trend, yeah? Goals. Yes.
Sorry, Roger.
Nice to see you,
I know
by the
you're
way.
trying to get to goals, but I've got another question from
Yeah.
listening to you.
Yeah.
You're exposed and you're in that world where you can impart these things to your children. Can you please speak into the parent whose children, their ambitions surpass where they're at and what they can do? How can they support their children, if that makes sense?
Yeah. That's a very good question. I think I touched that when I was starting, where I talked about the immigration issue and how we started. Okay, so I'm not going to lie. I've always told my kids, you need to be better than me. But sometimes when I look at where they are and what they're doing, you see, yeah? Because I'm growing too. It's not like I'm stagnant. And the worst thing of all is what she's saying, how if your vision surpasses the parent, yeah? How do we bridge that gap? I dare say church and what you're doing now is very important. I don't think we've had such a thing. I also say we need people like myself. I can't do this job alone. I have so many kids. I've got my 3 kids. I've got my nieces. I've got my godchildren. And I've got other. So maybe we need more forums like this where, and the unique thing about this thing is unique to a child. Sometimes you can't do it in a setting like this. You need a kid. You need to engage the kid. You need sometimes to expand their horizon beyond your remits. And so they see ahead because you know your struggles. You don't want them to, not so much they struggle the way you are, but to get to attain a lot more. Yeah? We're growing as a movement, as a people, as Ugandan people, that now my mother bought me young. I am now here. He's born here. He's going to have kids, you know. So now we need to have a bigger horizon. And someone has to really push that boundary and allow that to grow. So sometimes you're going to need coaches to come in. People like myself, people like people who know a little bit more about the market, yeah? We've kind of struggled. I've gone through some serious stuff, yeah? And I don't want any young people to go through that. Yeah, the workplace and the marketplace is aggressive for those who are in it. To really make a mark in it, you really have to apply yourself a certain way. You go in there and there's people on your case for doing good. And so you need to know how to navigate that and surpass it. You need to know how to ask for pay rises and stuff like that. So our kids need to know those stuff, yes.
So I think like most people here, I've been privileged enough to look at many CVs. And so like most people again, I'm in a position where I interview people. Now, by God's grace, we have moved in an area that is a bit more upper class. And so we come across lots. Actually, I think I'm the only person in my workplace at the moment who went to what you call a state school, I think.
Yeah, same.
A lot of my under people and over people are private school, those interesting schools. A lot of the people I work with are really only in the job because if they're not working, they'll be written out of the will. That's the only reason they're working. But one thing I have come across, and I say that a lot of black people in Kent sound like Trevor Phillips. And one thing I have come across, I need to say, and this is a big concern, and I want to address this to especially Jonah and do we have any other teachers here or people who are into the coaching and all that? My biggest concern is that you get this person who has the master's, the PhD, the degree, and they have contacts and they've gone to a good school. They sound right, they eat right, they walk right, they sit right, they do everything right. But they do not have people skills. And this is such a big issue out there. And so we are having lots of, I don't want anyone to be offended, but we are having a lot of black students and white students who have done so well, certain generations. They have done all these things. So while we are teaching our children how to study and how to get the master's and the PhD and the degree, we're teaching them people skills. And I'm finding that a lot of people are getting the job because of contacts, because they have done. These days you can just go on Google how to interview and how to be an interviewer, how to interview and do well. But will you stay in the job? Because at the end of the day, will you stay in that company? Will you be a good manager? Will you be a good boss? Because at the end of the day, it is the attitude and the people's skills. And I find that a lot of people are getting into the job, they are not staying into the job, past probation. And so, I don't know, John, I don't know what the schools are doing to sort this issue out. We are having so many people who are getting into the job, but are not staying into the job. Why? Because you and I, we were told back in the day when we were doing our interviews, and I was told by the person who taught me how to interview back in that day, you can work with attitude. You can work with attitude because you can mend the right attitude. The person who comes in with the right attitude is ready to learn. They don't know everything. They are not the know-it-all. They are ready to learn. They are ready to listen. They are ready to submit. But if someone comes in with their PhD and they don't have people skills, you see, what's her name? What she did seemed like a small thing, but these are the things employers and supervisors look at. If out of the entire class, Nisaya did that as a supervisor marking that, and I'm thinking, oh, I see good manners. Someone taught her to think on her feet. But then you have many, I look at the people that I work with and I marvel at how everything seemed to be perfect, but the manners and the attitude and the people skills and lack of initiative, they can't think on their feet. And because they can't think on their feet, you get someone who comes in from Africa. They know they know their issues, they know I have to work hard, they think, they have initiative, they plan, they are working. They'll ask you, "Are finished to do this, what else do you want me to do?" But the person comes in with their PhD, "Excuse me, I'm here from 9 to 5. My contract says 9 to 5. I must therefore stay from 9 to 5. Excuse me." They are flaky. They have a certain attitude. They are stressed. If you say something, you challenge, you confront, they are stressed. So what are we doing to work on the people's skills? You know, the greeting, the saying, "Hello, how are you?" You know, that where they are towards their supervisors and all these people. And I think for me, those are some of the things we need to look at as well. While we look at how, because we've also, all of us, come across people who have a lot of money, but bad manners. Bad manners. You know, then you come across someone who doesn't have much, and they are so well-mannered. And so that balance, the people's skills, what are we doing about the people's skills? We have lots of well-educated people who do not have people's skills.
Yeah, I think that's a major, major subject.
Just
Jonah,
a quick
you wanna
comment,
respond?
and Roger
Yeah.
can come in. It's guys, it's interesting. Roger, I think we'll have you back again sometime. This is the problem with things like this. Now, when you hear the work that Roger is doing, before even talking about the schools, Roger does all of this with the people he's working with.
Yeah.
So I know the example he's using is the academic, but he's going into very personal skills with these young people. And I have seen, hello Mirambe, I have seen practical examples of young people he's working with and how he's changed their lives, including young people who've gone through very challenging personal situations. And now they are back on the road and in employment. One of them is working under him. And he literally pulled him out of a situation that looked hopeless. So thank you, Roger, for that. For the parents, what I would say is we need to engage more as a community. Yeah, the reality is we in school can do our best, but I'll be honest, as a leader in a school, some of the things we do in school are just to tick off a box. Because we must show that we are helping young people with life skills. Unfortunately, on a day-to-day basis, school is so busy that we are just ticking off a box. And I don't mind this being recorded because that's the truth. That's what we do sometimes. Roger, unfortunately, you have 1 minute. And Messiah will conclude because we must finish at 10:30. But as you can see, we need you and Joel back. And Faith and Josh.
You will arrange another
Messiah.
time. Yeah. Is that a quick question? Okay.
Thank you very much, Roger, and thank you for sharing about the vision. You started off by saying that you're a medical person by profession. At what point did you decide that with this profession, my vision will not be fulfilled, and you started the coaching and all the side hustles? Just wanted to know when you decided that now I'm going to do the different job to get to where I want, and when do you get time to do those other side hustles?
Okay, that's quickly. The point at which I started was more of, again, I looked at my vision, and I knew my job would not give me what my vision needs. I like to travel, that's money. I like a bigger house. Right now, it's just not where I am. And so my earnings weren't just computing, okay? So I needed to look for something that would give me that lifestyle that I want, my vision lifestyle, yeah? And so I had to change. Life hustles just came in to facilitate other elements of my life that I really like. I like to live a luxurious life. That's part of my vision. Side hustles just help me on doing that. So it just helps me. So in a nutshell, that's what it does. I will touch on what Mrs. Tongoy just said. That is going to need parents lining up, teaching their kids. Now, when a kid goes into their first employment, most cases they don't know. And I've seen so many kids come into employment and do all these silly things. Usually they get fired in 1 year or two because they build up a reputation that's really awful. By the time they start lining up, we still have that old mindset of them, and they get judged. So I work with people before they go into employment or when they change employment to make sure they align the first time. What are the key things they're looking for? So she's hiring. You probably guys, most of you sometimes you hire. So we need to teach these kids and say, when you go in, be sure to. Yeah? I'm going to leave that because of time. I think.
Thank you.